Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Patrick here from All Things Mathematics, and moving on to the next example dealing with matrices. So here we are given this matrix and we have to find the resulting matrix after we do a sequence of operations. So first multiply the third row by 2, replace the second row with the sum of double itself and -1 times the third row, and then multiply the second row by a half, right? So notice that there's 3 operations. So the first one here, multiply the third row by 2. So what we could say to represent that, multiply the third row by 2. So we could say 2 times R3, like that, right? So basically the only thing that's going to get affected is this third row. So everything else stays the same. 3, -3, 4, and 9, and then the third row, everything's going to get multiplied by 2, so -10, 2, 6, -2, like that. Okay, so that right there is going to be the resulting matrix after the first operation. Okay, now let's go to the next one. So what we have to do, let's read this carefully, replace the second row with the sum of double itself and -1 times a third row. Okay, so basically we have to take the second row, so the second row is going to equal the sum of double itself, so 2R2, and -1 times a third row, so plus -1 times R3, and then this plus a -1, we could just put a minus there, right? So we could just basically say like minus R3, right? That's going to be the expression for the second operation. And so what's going to get affected now is this second row. So that means that the first row is going to stay the same. So we're going to have 1, 3, 7, and 2. Okay, now for the second row, let's do this very carefully. So what's going to happen is this 3, what it's going to change to is 2 times itself, 2 times 3, minus the -10, minus R3, right? The number in the third row for that specific column. We're dealing with the first column, right? So 2 times 3 minus -10, which would be like 6 plus 10, which would give us 16. So that's going to be 16 right there. Okay, now moving on to the next entry. So we have this -3. So what's going to happen? We're going to replace it with 2 times itself minus the third row, which is 2, right? So this is super detailed here. You got to be careful with your operations, and you have to be careful that you're using the correct elements, right? We're using this -3 and the element from the third row, right? So that right there is going to be -6 minus 2, which is -8. So that's going to be -8 right there. Moving on to the next element. So we have this 4 here. We're going to replace that 4 with double itself, 2 times 4, minus the third row element, right, in that column, which is 6. So that's going to be 8 minus 6, which is 2. So the 2 is going to go there. And then finally, the last column, so we're going to take 2 times that 9 minus the -2. So you got to be super careful with your signs here. So it's going to be 18 plus 2, which is 20, right? So that right there is going to be 20. And then the third row is basically going to stay the same. So let's write that -10 to 6, -2, like that. And then finally, the third operation, multiply the second row by 1/2, right? So we're basically going to take the second row, and that's going to change to half of itself, like that. And going back here, I could have also wrote, because we were changing the third row to double itself, R3, like the row we're changing, is going to equal this operation. All right, that's a nice way to set it up so you know exactly what row is changing into the next matrix. Yeah, so let's circle that. So basically, all of this is going to get multiplied by a half, meaning that the first row stays the same. All of this gets multiplied by a half, so we'll have 8, -4, 1, 10, and then we'll have -10, 2, 6, -2, right? So that right there is going to be the resulting matrix after all of those operations. And that is the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want to find more videos like this, you can go to my website, allthingsmathematics.com. Over there, all my courses are organized for both high school and university. All the videos are organized by chapter. Also, if you have any questions, you can hit me up. My contact details are also on the website. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.